हेलो एवरीवन, यू आर वाचिंग प्राइम एशिया टीवी और इस वक्त हम मौजूद हैं बीसी विंटेज म्यूज़ियम में, जहां पर आप सूबे ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया कनाडा के म्यूज़ियम देख सकेंगे, जहां पर ट्रकिंग के बारे में आपको बताया जाएगा। 1914 से लेकर अब तक के आपको ट्रक्स नज़र आएंगे और म्यूज़ियम में जब आप जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर आप जाकर अपनी हिस्ट्री से कनेक्ट होते हैं, मीनिंग से कनेक्ट होते हैं, लाइफ से कनेक्ट होते हैं। सो वी आर गोइंग टू कनेक्ट यू विद बीसी म्यूज़ियम। तो आज हम आपको मिलवाते हैं फ्रेड से। हाय फ्रेड, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग हियर।
Oh, thank you.
So
Coming?
yes, I am going to join you in your museum. Yes. So this is BC Vintage Museum. Boom. Okay. So Fred, can you please give us a quick tour of this BC Vintage Truck Museum and tell us about the history, little bit history of every truck. And yes, let's start it.
It starts with 1951 Chev,
Okay.
restored by BC Tel employees. This is it was in its day. It's decorated up for the Christmas parade that we had on December 4th. And
Nice.
it's fully equipped.
Okay.
Next to it is 1929 Chev. This was the same. The collection was 14 of the trucks came from a guy named Bob King.
Bob King.
And
Okay.
his main thing is he was a hoarder, and he never sold trucks when he was finished.
Okay.
When he started in 1929, which was the Depression, he bought 2 trucks just like this.
Oh wow.
This isn't one of them. This is restored by somebody else.
So what's the model of this truck?
This this is a 1.5 ton,
Okay.
and it's a delivery van thing. It's modern for its time. It was the first year of the 6-cylinder motor for the General Motors. Had steel wheels, had a fuel pump, 4-speed transmission. It had hydraulic brakes. It's
Nice.
really good for quality for its time
Okay. Cool.
and thing. As we come this way,
So 1928 का ये ट्रक है और इतना पुराना, और जो बंदा था वो होर्डर था। और ये देखें, the King collection is over here. Okay.
we also have some of the motors and that from the different eras. The Chev.
Wow,
the
these are the
International.
old motors. ये पुरानी मोटर्स हैं। आप देख रहे हैं कि जब ट्रक की मोटर्स होती थी तो पुरानी 1941 की। So 1941 में कनाडा सूबे ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया के अंदर ऐसी मोटर्स लगाई जाती थी ट्रक्स के अंदर। ये तो काफ़ी बड़ी है। They are pretty huge, right, Fred?
Yeah. And this white fire truck here, decorated for hauling Santa's sleigh. This was built in Montreal in 1955, bought by the Hope BC Fire Department and brought out, and they left it white. At that time, the rest of Canada had red fire trucks.
Right, 1955 में, like 1955 में जनाब ये ट्रक बना है। और आप देख रहे हैं कि कितना इन्होंने इसके ऊपर क्रिसमस का सारा डेकोरेशन लगाया हुआ है। Okay.
You want to cover this?
Yes.
This truck, the side is here, the red one with the black fenders. This is a 1935 3-ton, and it's a Maple Leaf, which is just a Chevrolet, but it's manufactured in Canada, so they call it a Maple Leaf.
So ये Maple Leaf इसको बोला जाता है क्योंकि ये कनाडा में मैन्युफैक्चर हुआ, and
1935.
1935 में ऐसे ट्रक इस्तेमाल किए जाते थे सुबह बीसी कनाडा के अंदर। आप देखें कि ये लकड़ी का काम है और सॉलिड काम होता है लकड़ी का। This is amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, okay, and then we are so 1900 Maple Leaf. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So we are moving on to this next track.
Yeah, this is an airflow. This is done in its time. There were 249 of them built, according to Chrysler's records, from 1934 to 1940.
जी, अब आप देख रहे हैं कि 1935 में ये ट्रक बनाया गया था। 1935 की हिस्ट्री है and कितने मजबूत and Fred, I can see it is a very strong truck. Like look at the amazing craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's the truck is art. It's called Art Deco. The thing, it was a new concept, and this particular one was hauling oil for Standard Oil, which is Chevron. Okay, the next one next to it here is the Shell 1929.
1929 का ये शेल का ट्रक है जी। इसमें गैस लेके जाई जाती थी, जैसे कम्यूट करने के लिए ना, गैस को इधर से उधर ट्रांसपोर्ट करने के लिए। वाओ, तो ये like it used to be the biggest truck in that age?
Yeah, it was a big truck in its day. Okay. And the construction, wood, metal.
Oh, all metal, huh?
Yeah, on the side, nice. But wood on the thing there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's it, we call.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting little thing to drive. Very bulky.
Very bulky. It is. It's like heavy duty.
You had to be in good health to drive this.
Cool.
So, and again, 1,200 gallons of fuel delivering to the service stations in its day.
1,200 gallons.
Yeah.
1200 gallon का गैस जो है, पेट्रोल जो है इसके अंदर आ जाता था and क्या बात है जी।
This truck here is a 1936 Indiana.
Indiana model.
And Indiana was not a manufacturer. They were an assembler. They bought from the best and they assembled it. And at the time this was being built in 1936, it was owned by White. This is a very famous truck. It was redone by Andy Craig, who had one just like it in 1936, and he lost it in an accident in 38.
Okay.
He found this one in 74 and restored it just like his, and he camperized it.
Nice.
And he wrote the book, The History of Trucking in BC. This is the Army truck from the Second World War.
Second World War का जी आर्मी ट्रक है, इस वक्त हमारे सामने।
It was in Vancouver.
It was in Vancouver, okay.
The whole time. The other trucks.
Right.
They just won't do it.
हाँ,
Yeah.
थोड़ा अंदर दिखाई जी। 1941 का Second World War का ये ट्रक है और आप देखें इसके।
That's got a 4-speed transmission, and the other lever is the 2-speed rear end. It works just like a gears in a transmission,
okay.
and that gives you more
like control.
ability.
Yeah.
Here, we'll carry on. FWD served in the First World War in Britain. It's brought over in 1921 by BC Electric to clean the tram tracks in Vancouver. It's absolutely, get there and in the ceiling, it's just absolutely stunning.
क्या बात है।
Yeah. So.
Williams moving and storage.
Yeah.
So is this the only museum we have in British Columbia?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not. We only have this one museum. We are, you know, an independent little society doing thing. We're just preserving the history.
Yes.
Because it used to be in the Transportation Museum, and our provincial government sold it off many years ago. And these were some of the trucks that they didn't sell, and then some of these we've brought in since we've got the collection. Like this one in particular was brought in from the thing, and this one too as well. This Ford is a 47 Ford. They call it a 9-foot box, but if you take a measuring tape, it's only 8 foot and a bit.
Okay.
But this was a very expensive option. The standard box, because when you're manufacturing things lots, you can make them cheap. As soon as you have to do individuals, not cheap anymore. So this got expensive. This would probably been $200 or $300 to buy new. $50 you could build a wooden box on the back. Most of the ones that they had no money, so they built a wooden box. So this is rare to have. This particular truck, the Othello tunnels at Hope, this is the one that carried the fuel and the drilled bits up to for the tunnels. And when it was finished, it was sold to a farmer, and then he used it and then stuck it in a barn. And one of our members bought it 16 years ago and sort of restored it. And we've restored it since he had it.
That's nice. You have been restoring good trucks.
This was just
Is this a truck?
Well, it's similar. This is where you go and learn how to drive a truck.
Okay.
In the old days, this is where you'd start.
Right.
And thing, you can get in there and you shift all the gears. It'll allow you with that gearing. This is actually about a 65 International, big truck, but you can change the thing from a 13-speed transmission to a 15-speed transmission or a 10-speed. I know how to do the 10 and the 15. I have no idea how to do the 13.
Wow.
So I'm not a truck driver.
That's okay. Okay, let's go to the front area.
Yeah. And this is a 1910, licensed as a 1910 white steam truck.
Wow, 1910 का steam truck है जी. इससे पुराना truck मैंने तो अपनी जिंदगी में नहीं देखा है. 1910 truck and a steam truck. So can you explain how it used to work, or does it still work?
In the old days, you would put kerosene and a mixture in this. Would go back to the boiler.
Right.
The boiler had a pilot light on it, just like your hot water tank does. It'd ignite. This has got a Stanley boiler in it, which takes about 15 minutes to make steam from cold water.
Okay.
Where the white was it boiled from the top, not the bottom, and it was more efficient, and it would do it in 5 minutes.
Okay.
When the steam comes, this gauge here, you turn it on, the steam comes roaring through. You got pumps on there, you got to put a little bit of oil in the thing because there's no oil in the motor, so to keep it so the pistons don't seize coming through. And then the lever on the far side there is just like your electric car. The transmission is just forward, neutral, reverse. You only got the 3 choice. And then away comes the steam. It goes very, very fast. This particular one, when it was restored, is on a 1913 Overlander frame, 1910 Model T rear end and steering. So that means the brakes, and in those days they were only on the rear and mechanical, and not known to be that good on the Ford ones.
So sweet जी. देखिए 1910 का ट्रक है और स्टीम से काम करता है. केरोसिन पहले इधर जाती है and then it goes to tank and then वहाँ से होती हुई आगे. That's how it works. And does it still work? Does this still work?
Yes, it works. And this is
Wow,
your gas pedal. You pull that, and the more you pull it down, the faster you go. The other one side is the brake pedal, just like you have today. The other one is not a clutch. It just allows the steam to escape.
Okay.
And when the steam escapes, then it goes into what's called the condenser, not a radiator, but a condenser, puts it back to water.
Okay.
So,
wow.
But this thing you could probably do 60 miles an hour in it, which is really, really fast for the kind of brakes it's got.
So यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं कि स्टड्स, क्विक, स्टैनले, कितने ज़बरदस्त गाड़ियाँ हैं जो मैंने कभी लाइफ में ऐसे देखी भी नहीं होंगी, सही जो बताऊँ. दिस इज़ ऑल सो विंटेज, जैसे पुराने ज़माने की ही गाड़ियाँ हैं। और देखिए वाओ, 1932 की भी यहाँ पे मॉडल्स पड़े हुए हैं। 1903 में देखे कैसी गाड़ी होती थी। कैन यू प्लीज शो दिस वन? 1903, मेरे ख्याल में 1903 से ज़्यादा पुरानी गाड़ी मैंने नहीं देखी है। 1903 में लोग ऐसे जाया करते थे, आगे घोड़े हुआ करते थे जिनमें वो एक तरह से कार्ट की तरह वो लगा के, एंड मशीन्स भी नहीं होती थी लगता है।
In Mexico, and he was going into a home, and the kids didn't want him, so he asked if we'd take him, put him up, which we did. These were donated by one of our members, Harold Willenbrink. He collected the piggy banks that were all Mexico, and then there's a few others down here that we've added to the collection over the time.
Nice.
But they're just memorabilia parts that go with.
देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, ऐसे ये तो इतने खूबसूरत खिलौने लग रहे हैं। आई फील लाइक कि ये बंदे के पास कलेक्शन हो अच्छा सा। Where in the world are our visitors?
Those pins, that's where people are from that've been touring our museum.
अच्छा, ये दिखाएं जी, ये दिखाया है कि भाई दुनिया में कहाँ इस बीसी विंटेज म्यूजियम को विजिट किया गया है। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि कहाँ से लोग आए हुए हैं जो उन्होंने विजिट किया हुआ है। क्यूबेक से और यूके से, स्कॉटलैंड से, सब लोगों ने अपनी पिन लगाई हुई है। अच्छा, ये देखिए श्रीलंका से लोग आए हुए हैं यहाँ पर, और कितनी सारी डिफरेंट जगह हैं जहाँ से लोग दुनिया भर से ट्रैवल करते हैं। अच्छा, आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक टू पिन। नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू आस्क Fred. Fred, do you have any message for our viewers?
Yes, so we would like to see you come and visit us. We're open on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 10 till 2. And come and tours is by donation. And we'd love to have you come and take a look and see what we've got. We're preserving the history of trucking in BC for the people to come in future.
Thank you so much, Fred.
Thank you.
Yes, तो ये था हमारे साथ फ्रेड। आपने देखा कि बीसी विंटेज म्यूजियम में आज हमने आपको थोड़ा सफ़र कराया है कि 1914 से लेकर 1914 से लेकर 1930, 1940, 47, 50, 60s, बहुत सारे हमने आपको ट्रक दिखाए हैं। उम्मीद करते हैं कि आपको ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री पसंद आई होगी। तो अंजुम हाशमी को दीजिए इजाज़त और देखते रहिए प्राइम एशिया, तुहाडा अपना तुहाडे लिए।